This is a short presentation describing my Level 1 crash course for the December 2012 exam. So the first question is, why am I doing this crash course and who am I doing it for? Now, if you've studied hard over the last few months, so you have gone through either my videos or you have studied from the curriculum or studied from prep provider notes, and you have a reasonable grasp of the concepts, but you are feeling overwhelmed. So there is just so much material to learn, so you keep forgetting. You feel you might not have done enough practice, and what you need now is some guidance over the final month. There are still some questions that you haven't quite nailed, so you have some conceptual questions. You also might need some help on approach and strategy. So what should I be doing in the last few days? So if this is your situation, then the crash course can help you, because effectively what we'll be doing is going over your questions. And I'll give you more on that in a couple of minutes. But first, I want to tell you what this is not. So this crash course is not magic. If you have not studied much, if you are struggling with a lot of concepts, and you are looking for some secret sauce which you can consume and then magically pass the exam, then you are at the wrong place. Then I cannot help you. You need to look somewhere else. So now, what is it that I'll do and what is it that you are going to get out of this crash course? The crash course will be conducted in November. So this is the last month before the exam. Here is the schedule that we will follow. Notice that we have every topic in here other than ethics right now, and I'll just come to ethics in a minute. So what you need to do is the following. You need to obviously mail me your questions one day before a given class. So on 1st November, if I am doing alternative investments and derivatives, then you need to mail me your questions the day before. So by 31st October, you have to mail me your questions on alternative investments and derivatives. Then when I run the session on 1st November, my presentation will include your questions. And then within 24 hours of my classroom session, you will have a video which contains your questions. Now, if you send a question which I feel is too obscure, so it's getting into details that I feel are just not worth spending time on at this point, then I'll just let you know. So I feel that in the last month, it's important to focus on the most important, most testable concepts. If you are getting hung up in excessive detail, then that obviously is taking you away from other important stuff that you really need to be mastering. So this is our schedule. And again, you need to send in your questions one day before the exam. Now, for people who sign up for this crash course, I will just give my ethics lectures, plus I will share some tips on how to work ethics. Ethics is a little tough one to handle because it is very subjective. So the key point here is to practice as much as possible. So doing all the questions from the curriculum, doing questions from past CFA mock papers, and so on. But in any case, I will share my video lectures and tips with anyone who purchases the crash course. Okay, so that was one thing. Another point is that obviously students have been asking questions over this year, so all of 2012. This includes my students for the June batch as well as students in the current December batch. So I have recorded many of my answers, and you will get access to a folder that contains the questions and answers that have happened over the year. So this is useful because it happens quite often that your questions might be similar to questions that others have asked. And finally, as we go through this last month, I'll keep providing guidance and tips on how to practice and study in the last month. So that essentially is what you are going to get. Now, if you are interested, then you can order by visiting my website. So you can go to arifirfanullah.com, and then it's basically the 2012 level 1 order page. This is the direct link. If you have any questions, you can email us at support@arifirfanullah.com. Now on this page, here is the crash course option. So you just click on the buy now button and then follow the process. This will take you through a Google checkout or Google wallet process. So any major credit card will work. If you have issues, you can just email us and we can suggest other methods. Now, if you also want all my other video lectures for 2012, if you feel that you've studied but you just need some support, then you can also purchase these video lectures. These are lectures that are essentially based on the curriculum and emphasize the practice problems in the curriculum as well as the examples in the curriculum. So if you're interested, you can order this too. So that is it. The key point, as I keep emphasizing, whether or not you sign up for this crash course, is that you have to practice a lot in the last month. And those who practice a lot in the last month typically have a very high pass rate. So that is it. Good luck with your studies.